Okay, in January 2025, there's been a mortgage lending update from both Fannie and Freddie Mac of what's commonly known as appraisal waivers. Fannie is now calling them value acceptance. There's also a term called property data report. Freddie calls them automated collateral evaluation. Some folks use the acronym PIW. So to keep it simple, I'm going to put all of those industry jargon terms and put them in a friendly little bucket called appraisal waiver for the purpose of this video. Okay, here's how it works. When a buyer is using a conventional loan to buy a house, not government loans like FHA, VA, or USDA, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will look at that specific address and your specific purchase price and how much down payment you're putting down and check it against their gigantic database of information they've been accumulating for decades to determine if an appraisal is required to complete this transaction. Now, generally speaking, there's two major components we're looking for when an appraisal report comes in. Is it at value and is it subject to any required repairs? Previously, when we got an appraisal waiver, nobody would inspect the house, so there's no way to tell if it needed any repairs, right? I actually sat on about an hours-long Zoom seminar where the head of Fannie Mae Collateral was discussing how all these appraisal waivers were great, right? They're okay with the value, but they had no way to tell if all these properties needed required repairs since no one was going in there to snap a few photos, right? So now there are essentially two types of appraisal waivers. One is the traditional full appraisal waiver we're used to, where you don't need to order anything. Or there's something that I'm referring to as a partial waiver, which means, hey, they're good with value, but they still want to send someone in and take a few photos to make sure the property isn't in disrepair. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Are you tracking me? So if you're a real estate agent, you're going to want to clarify with the lender, hey, is that a full appraisal waiver or a partial one? Or if you want to use more technical jargon, you could ask the lender, hey, does that waiver require a property data report or not? Either way, you won't have to worry about a low appraisal scenario, but you potentially might have to deal with a called out repair to meet minimum property requirements. Now, I know these videos are getting a little long, but I want to bring up one more FYI, especially again for the real estate agents. Previously, a buyer would have to put at least 20% down, aka 80% loan to value, to even trigger the potential for a full appraisal waiver. But now that has been increased to 90% loan to value for a full waiver and 97% for those partial waivers with the PDRs, which means you could be seeing a lot more transactions with partial or full appraisal waivers in 2025. If you have any questions on appraisal waivers, let me know. If you want to stay up to date on mortgage lending guidelines as they come out, because you're a real estate agent or another loan officer or potentially home buyer, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Any questions at all, call, text me, email me. Everything's totally for free. Glad to help. Let's go buy a house this year. Cheers.